So it's less reliable. Kha'Zix obviously brings more assured lane ganks and also initiation pick CC, but it's a pick comp with slightly less pick, but still certainly could go a similar way than game 1. So the Ahri, it's going to become the staple. It's a safe blind pick. It's a good pick champion. Excellent Ahri mechanics in game 1. But you do notice that Jinair, the preferential lane matchup with the Shen in top lane, pick comps can be beaten by something like 850 shield being loaded on in the bot lane, or in any lane, of course, from the Shen. And the mid lane should tell us the story. This can go either way. Mickey's in form. Syndra has perhaps a slightly easier time in this matchup. We'll wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, Mickey, again, going to have to do a lot of work on the Ahri. Has a big ceiling after that first game that we saw, so if he can perform at that same level, very well could see a ROX Tigers victory coming out.
And all eyes on the jungle as well. Seongwon forced to take the Kha'Zix first pick, giving up a massive comfort bot lane for Jinair Green Wings.
And MT coming back in after an MVP performance on that Kha'Zix, now back over to the Lee Sin, something that impressed us when he debuted here in LCK. But let's go ahead, jump into game number 3, see who's going to be the winner, ROX Tigers or Jinair Green Wings in our last set of the week.
오신 것을
Shout out to the fans still sticking around here in the studio. Now 10 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Not a Sunday though, so one more sleep before work and school for most. That's a nice drawing of Kuzan.
Yeah, it's got quite a lot of fans. You see Jinair, still a good amount of support showing out for these guys, desperately wanting that win. First win, as you said, in 6 matches. That first game win that they had seen. This would be their second match win in the entire split.
And they are obviously eager to double as that match win. Certainly in with a shot. I mean, the draft from both sides is strong. Both sides really pick comps, if you think about it. Syndra, Varus, and Shen can definitely open up picks, and Malzahar as well.
Yeah.
Maokai in the late game will be the team fight beast. He started up with the saplings, and no invade from Jinair on the saplings, which has been so common. Obviously a little less common to see the start when it's on bot side because Maokai enters lane slightly later, but as we can see, not in any way demonstrably later, and great start for Seongwon. Be level 2 instantly.
Yep, helping him out quite a bit. Keep our eyes on this bottom lane key. And Song Yoon yet again running this Ashe Lulu. This time the Malzahar is there for Snowflower. They played the Varus Karma lane in game number 1, so going to be a bit different. Have to worry about that Nether Grasp coming through. Likely the target to be key since he can't wild growth anybody.
I wonder when the last series was that a team got Varus twice. That happens almost never.
It's got to be a considerable amount of time at this point, you would expect.
Same side of the draft. His first pick, Rengar in game 1.
Good harass coming through so far in that bottom lane. See some trading in mid as well. Just going to get that the Thunderlord's proc, rather.
Pathing for now is probably the most important thing, given that a lot of these lanes are going to be pretty similar. More pushing in options for Ashe and Lulu in the bot lane early means that the early pressure is going to be there with ROX, but needs to go for a shop, so no invades or anything tricky coming out from Seongwon.
Well, yeah, we'll see who is going to make the first move here, whether it's Seongwon or Umti. Again, one of the things that we've been touting is just how fearless and sometimes reckless Umti can be on this Lee Sin, so expect when he hits level 6 to just go straight in for a gank with the Dragon's Rage onto somebody.
Pre-6 is possible if Mickey continues to persist around mid 50% HP in mid lane.
True.
Scatter the Meek and a Q will probably be enough. The other associated skills to take him down. Exhaust was forced. It's a nice thing about taking Ashe is that you do force exhaust out of basically every mid laner. I mean cleanse, actually. My apologies. Cleanse there is Forced, even though in the lane matchup, you can cleanse the charm, but doesn't usually hold a lot of value.
Doubly important, given the charm, as you say. So, quite a bit that you can use that to get out of. So, going to be very useful as time goes on. We'll see if Kuzan can make the best of it.
Yeah, Malzahar already forced out a lane and bot, so nice little bit of damage onto the bot lane turret.
Yeah, it seems like Key and Songyun have been doing quite a bit of work. He talked about that pre-6 gank. Umti, bring around here, is level 4, but gets spotted. The pings come through.
Just go for it. Stealing away the Raptors instead. Raptors have the most experience loaded into the camp of the camps to pick up and up in close proximity to mid, so we'll just be a trade of Raptors.
Songwon with a adequate amount of cover as well.
It's cool how before Raptors were highly prized by the jungle because they really wanted to pick up the Raptor buff and find vision, but now it's the experience that makes them just as equally prized. Umti trying to go straight from Raptors to Raptors. I'm going to be very sad when his Q doesn't find any.
Oh, Raptor buff, we miss you.
Now you have to buy a Duskblade of Drakthar to get Raptor buff. Not for the sweet lethality, of course.
Oh, Songwon going in onto Umti. Quick dash over the wall into the red pit, keeps him alive, but can't finish off the control ward, and that's going to set him up to take quite a bit more damage here in the jungle. Does have an 8 sustain from his W, but might have an earlier recall than desired, and actually will just get shoved off these Krugs.
And Linderong reinforcing, has more pushing options, and you can see that Sowan's not going to be getting a Balmy Cinder anytime soon. He's going to go for Spectre's Cal, so push and roam is something very important for the Maokai. When we resume next week, we'll almost certainly be on patch 7.4, so Maokai's pushing options are a little bit more limited. Leeching options as well. Still going to see some Maokai though, Achilles, not going anywhere just yet.
Hasn't gone anywhere for a considerable amount of time, so I don't expect to see him shut out of the meta anytime soon. They want to go for a dive though. Songwon and Mickey are coming up top, so definitely seems like this is going to be the case. Songwon now showing himself. Songwon needs a big shadow dash to try to turn this one around. We'll just get Arcane Smash, dashes through, but Linderong still taking up, flashes out. Nicely done by the ROX Tigers. They come up with first blood. It goes over to the Ahri.
Yeah, very clean. Syndra was on the bot side, not able to react on it. He ends up pushing in one minion wave, and they're going to try and get first brick in top lane. Remember,
they're gonna get
the reinforcements stop at 5 minutes, so perfect time for a gank. Shen still level 5, turn level 6 at the end, but not consequential, and now first brick observed.
Yeah, there you go. They pick it up. Meanwhile, Umti goes over, tries to get the Crux. He's going to go in onto Key, who flashes in underneath the turrets, and he'll take a little bit more damage. We'll get healed up here, but now Songyun firing off with the volley, slowing them up, and the TP is coming through from Linderong. Stand United gets baited out by Sowan. Cancel come through from Linderong. So won't just come in surrounded by members of Jin Air. Keeps himself safe. And just a bit too deep there by Umti.
But given that both teams have pick comps, being forced to use the Stand United so defensively means they don't have it for initiation or the turret dive that you really want to go for. Well, might have to be a brute force turret dive like other top laners have to make, where you ward behind the bot lane and then TP in.
I mean, this is going to, make sure that someone does not have a global advantage for a little bit of time. TP will be back up before Linderong's, since it was just used, but for now, there's no way for the Shen to join in a team fight unless he runs all the way down the map.
And level 1 cooldown, it's pretty similar to cancelling your teleport, so going to be able to match Stand United after about a 30-second delay.
Linderong just shoving Umti off of his own Raptors.
Well, he doesn't need to be top. It's going to take forever for Shen to push the minions in.
Yeah, nowhere near a Tiamat, so still just working for that Spectre's Cal.
No Spectre's Cal at 8 minutes. Feels bad.
Now this is rough times for Jin Air already. 1.4 thousand in the lead for ROX Tigers, but they need to keep this ball rolling, not have it be halted, or else Jin Air could very well just swing themselves back into a win.
It's all pretty even in terms of power spikes. We don't have, well, you've seen so many times recently, the Siege comp against the Engage comp, or team fighting against split pushing. This is pretty similar on both sides. I'd argue that Ahri is slightly happier to be in a side lane than Syndra, but that's kind of a small consideration. Tank's going to do their jobs. Using Maokai is the slightly better teamfight tank, but if you're winning, then having Shen is the best feeling ever. and everyone else pretty much falls in line. So it's very much the gold lead that lets us know who's in the lead, and that is squarely on the side of the ROX Tigers.
Yep. They'll go ahead and get their second objective of the game here as well as they take out this Cloud Drake, so not spotted in vision at all. Doesn't require any assistance. Go ahead and finish this off. A decent pickup for them, and it's going to be a Mountain coming up second in 6 minutes. We'll just go from there. So for now, ROX, they are stabilized, and they're forcing Jin Air on the front foot, on the back foot. Empty gets jumped on. Nice charm by Mickey. Good scatter the weak by Kuzan will shove them back and stop the dash from going forward, but they still come up with another kill.
Big MVP there is also the ward they placed just to the right of the inner brush next to the red turret. They saw him walking up, hadn't seen Umti visit mid lane, haven't seen him use the Dragon Rage, wasn't even able to in that last fight. Maokai pushing top, so on, going for this build.
Oh, Ash Arrow connects on the Snowflower. Stand United coming through, and now Jin Air going to try to turn this one around. He getting jumped on. Shadow Dash comes through. They lock him up. They will take out the Lulu. Can they get out with their lives? So the answer may just be yes. Actually, no, that's going to be Charm coming through. So-On gets locked up. Kill picked up now for Songwon. And ROX Tigers might be looking for another turret. Umti running down after respawning, going to help try to defend this. Wave's a little weak, so it looks like ROX won't be able to find that objective yet.
Scissor was there also to relieve pressure, so it won't be the turret like you say. Mickey gets further and further ahead now, 2-0-1, and with the Abyssal Scepter, will not die in one rotation to the enemy, but you can see how this game is playing out. Achilles, they're able to push into blue side, put down wards, pick out a pick onto the Lee Sin. Maokai, he's got so much free time. Tiamat will accelerate things a little bit, but it's a pretty late Tiamat, so he's not under any wave pressure in top. That's why he's been able to roam, and mid lane's been pushing as well. 3 lanes pushing and Lee Sin, nothing he can do.
I mean, Linderong's just like, screw it, I'm just going to get double Dorns and Merc Treads. I don't need anything else right now.
Nope.
I'll just keep roaming around, soaking up gold, getting assists, and then I'll go back. And now he buys a Spectre's Cowl. So clearly just not even worried about the damage and So-On could put out in exchanges.
I think it's just a mistake to go full Spectre's Cowl first. If you're against Elise, you could understand it, but he was against a physical damage jungler, so the Tiamat we so often see as the rush. No Magic Mantle and Tiamat would have provided so much more, given that Linderong has spent so little time in lanes this game.
It still is up in CS.
The theory here is like, well, I lost my turret, so I need to be a tank because I'm going to teleport into tanks, teleport into team fights. But if you have no control over your lane, and minion waves are so important, and the Linderong's always going to be in position first. The channel time's long. The rest of your lanes are losing because you don't have pressure. It's always tricky to say what's correct, but I'm skeptical of the Spectre's Cowl in this particular game for Shen first.
Overall, just a rougher time here from Jin Air. Very much looking like themselves from game 1. Same could be said for ROX. Just kind of trading back and forth. Kuzan maybe getting pinched on Linderong, and Songwon coming around from the sides. Mickey goes forward. Charm doesn't connect, but it doesn't matter. There's a big twisted advance there. Songwon gets kicked away. He goes forward with the Resonating Strike, but almost loses his life. Has to flash out. Could have just let him go and held on to the Summoner spell, but now we'll be down that as well, so Kuzan just falls.
Stand United, I'm not sure if it was available. It was by the time he finished the teleport. I'm going to guess no, because it was not channeled onto Kuzan. Might have lived there, because he didn't even cleanse in the fight. That was the quick.
Just now coming up, I think.
Hard to tell with that particular graphic in the game. I'm pretty sure it's
there it is.
No, you're right. Okay. That's a tough one to see on our small monitors. So it wasn't available. Nothing he could do there. Cleanse would not have gotten Kuzan out, so holds on to that. Finally, Teddy, who is another person who's kind of just been chilling in lane, doing nothing. Pick up the turret.
Farming and pushing, pushing and farming. Does have a considerable lead here over Songyun. Tied in assists as well, so he's going to be all right on the Varus, but needs to get to a position where he can really utilize the poke damage that he has available to him.
Songyun's items are just the most disgusting, looking at them. It's just like, well, I've just got stuff. I spent all the gold I had, but I don't really have anything to show for it. 34 CS behind. Thrift shopping and then some.
Yeah, 2 parts Essence Reaver, 1 part Hurricane.
But not even the good parts. It's just...
No BF sword.
It's just the worst. Doesn't have a Zeal, doesn't have a BF sword. And that's Zeal BF sword, you're like, yeah, Now you're like, oh.
There were some bumps in the road.
Well, I mean, everyone else was doing the winning, so he was just like, oh, I guess I'll just farm over here.
Yeah. Let's be late utility Ash.
Like Deft. Poor little Deft against SKT.
I don't even know if you could really call that utility Ash. He didn't. He wasn't able
I
to
did
do
call
much.
it Tank Ash.
Eh.
His Bloodthirster Guardian Angel against Zed Ash. Mickey, face checking Umti.
Hello. Doesn't strike. Do we want to see that one come out? Yes, we do, because the Nether Grasp is there as well as the Stand United. Mickey gets taken out. Nice pick off there by Jin Air. Do have to invest quite a bit to get it, but still. A kill is a kill when you're behind.
And ROX Tigers didn't have the vision to make that play. The first time, definitely, when they got the kill onto Umti. Their previous plays have been smart. That was a brute force. Well punished. That was just a, I know when the blue buff is, so let's kill them like we killed them before. And Jin Air learned, and ROX did not.
Should have just chucked out the orb to see if there was somebody there.
But then you lose damage, Achilles.
Just saying, you get those stacks off the passive. Just angle it so you only clip 2 wolves, and if you get 3 stacks, there's a Lee Sin waiting.
Snowfire puts a ward through the terrain, so it doesn't die to Sungyun and Ki, who are waiting. First strike was a cloud. Looks like ROX will quickly power down the second.
Yeah, nothing really that Jin Air can do.
So one doesn't have any globals left. Sad Ash, no globals. Feels bad, man. Sad Shen. Champion names are hard today. What can I say?
It's been a long one. Oh, we're getting there at least.
We are. So far, ROX have been mostly good, but the last play was questionable, and it's another one where you see Umti lying in wait.
Does it happen again? Looks like the answer's going to be no. Songwon especially could very easily just toss out the Void Spikes. Looks like it will just be the tier 1 turret getting picked up now that that Mountain Drake is being put to use.
Shen may have the Tiamat, but not going to be doing any fast work to this top lane turret.
Yep. Or Linderong. He's got the Spirit Visage. Sap Magic will keep him healthy. Mickey roaming in. He'll find that control ward. Won't be able to roam up towards the top lane where Songwon is overextended.
Well, so one will be difficult, given that he has Spirit Visage already. Gank that worked when he was level 5 works a lot less when he's level 11.
He's got no boots, no way to juke.
Snowflower, though, has got the fast boots. Looking for a lockdown. Malzahar opening up on Tanari is probably going to be close to a 1 rotation kill. Maybe a little bit of ability power short of that compared to the Null Magic Mantle that was very early completed for Mickey.
I mean, you have lockdown with another grasp straight into a Scatter the Weak. It's 100% kill, you would have to think.
Close, but the Null Magic Mantle makes it a little bit trickier. That was needlessly large rod where the amp term previously was, maybe. Now that the blasting one is added again, maybe. But it'll be close.
Find out. For now, though, ROX knowing that they're ahead pushing forward, trying to get some vision. He will get jumped on. Chain Corruption comes down. Wild Growth comes through. He's going to flash away, but still goes down. And Teddy gets a kill in the back line. So on, dashing forward yet again. And a big burst goes through from Kuzan onto Songyu. Takes him out. Mickey now arriving. Goes out. The Orb Deception won't find anything yet. Gets locked up. Don't have any way of collapsing. Umti barely gets out alive, and Jin Air, they put 2 kills on the board.
Yeah, second time in a row that ROX isn't respecting vision. They did not have Mickey grouped and ended up being surprised they were engaged onto in a 5v4 scenario. Should have been better by the ROX Tigers. They lose this series. A lot of the mistakes are very, very avoidable. No one's very tanky.
Yeah, takes a bit of damage. Mickey's going to go forward. Dashes in. TP came through from Linderong on the backside. Jumps on top of Snowflower. He'll get destroyed. The Songwon comes up with the kill. Sonic Wave not connecting onto Mickey, but almost is enough to take out Songwon. Gets kicked away, but he still lives. That being said, it's a 1-for-2 exchange. ROX still falling behind.
The thing that ROX Tigers doesn't seem to appreciate is that in the interim, while top lane and mid lane were doing so well, Teddy's pretty free farmed, and they didn't have the vision to make the play they looked to make, as Ari was also super, super far away. Songwon gets into the fight. He's got the stand united onto a priority member. They can continue to fight, and by the time Mickey shows up, the fight is already over. 2 are down as 3v5. Kind of a head-shaking moment for ROX Tigers fans because they're making the same mistake again and again.
Still have a lead, but getting smaller and smaller as time goes on. 2.2 thousand, just about at 20 minutes. Have Mountain, have Cloud. Second one on the way. Haven't been able to utilize it too much outside of getting that bottom tier 1 turret. And it's just been mistake after mistake here.
Guess we shouldn't be too surprised. Have to remember this is 8th versus 9th on the ladder. ROX were playing a lot better in their first series of the week against Jin-Air, but have fallen into familiar patterns for them. That's why I had a lot of skepticism about how they would do at IEM. Some good games and then some not so good games. On the first day, we're the first team to qualify for the semis, so that's something to celebrate.
Did they kill this in time?
I don't know, actually. They're going to get close.
Well, Baron's getting ready to come
Answer
out.
is no.
Nope. Can't get it.
I don't know if we've ever seen that.
That feel when you, we have before, but that feel when you actually want to take the Rift Herald and you can't because it kills itself.
Well, I mean, they just could have had Ari throw a couple of Qs over and do some damage. Instead, she was zoning with a Rift Herald. And that didn't work out.
Nope. Oh dear. ROX, what do you do now? Baron is a far cry away from happening.
You say that. It's still possible. They have Kha'Zix, Maokai to tank it, Ashe as well. But it's probably going to be too slow, very conspicuous at this point. And Teddy is going for one of those hard carry games.
He's been trying that quite a bit.
He's got
Recent
embarrassed.
series. Ashe Arrow comes out, still connects on the Umti. Lots of damage coming through. Mickey picks up the kill, and now with Lee Sin dead, maybe you consider going for the Baron.
So one very low, though. Actually evolved Wings second, so that's a bit of a change from recent evolutions. Isn't worried about wave clear, which, you know, they got pretty decent wave clear, so I can understand it. Less utility from the Kha'Zix, although he can jump in with the wild growth, and I guess I can see the synergy there. Inevitably jumping into his doom, but I get it.
That could work out a bit here. Still just about 2,500 gold. Tigers have not been able to stretch this any further. Even with the picks, they can't get anything off the backside of taking out Empty.
Songwon's been piecing together a couple of items. Black Cleaver and Edge of the Night seems to be where he's going. 100% kill participation for him, a couple of members. Game has mostly been played around Songwon and Mickey.
Yeah, much better performance from Songwon so far.
Still, the draft, and specifically having to prioritize the Kha'Zix so high, may come back to haunt them in future rounds.
Yeah. Against a better team, you have to expect that things would not be going as well as they are, and it's still been a bit of a rough road here for ROX.
It's that theory where you don't want to reveal your hidden strats or necessarily your weaknesses until you have to, you know, until you're facing SKT and KT with all the marbles at play, and they have revealed a lot in what happened in this draft, so I have to think that Songwon's going to be spamming the solo queue, trying to add a few.
It's that or it's the greatest sandbag ever. But something tells me that that is not going to be the scenario here.
When you're 1 and 7, can you really start sandbagging? 1 and 8 even? No.
Oh, wait. Are we talking about ROX?
ROX, I guess, 3 and 6, so. Still.
I was thinking Songwon in my head here.
They haven't beaten many teams, so either way, I hope neither of these teams are sandbagging. The S word needs to go away. Took a lot of AP on Mickey. Didn't go for the Zhonya's build this time, so was free to go for Abyssal Scepter, so with Morella Nomicon now. Does a lot of damage. Syndra splitting against the Ahri is very risky. If she face checks a charm, she will die.
Cleanse is available, still be quite a bit of damage coming through.
It doesn't cleanse the damage amplification, only the CC. It's true. Syndra's build is much more about trying to do damage to frontliners. It's not about killing Mickey, although the Void Staff will have some value against the Abyssal Scepter.
Yeah, I mean, trying to pop Songwon would be good. ROX, though, have a lot of vision down. Mickey's still showing in top. So it seems like Jin Air aren't exactly suspicious of this going down yet. It's at half
now.
HP. Ward does come down. They have vision denied. Minion going in. Ash Arrow comes through. Not going to find Umpty. Then he gets jumped on by Linderong. Wild Growth over the wall to keep him out of the pit. And that's going to be confirmed by Songwon. Umpty going to be the first one to go down as Mickey finds the kill. Flash jump over the wall for Songwon. Won't find anybody. Actually takes quite a bit of damage from Teddy. He's going to have to peel back out of here. But Baron finally picked up. They're going to lose a tier 2 in bot perhaps for this. But now it looks like the recalls with the Baron powered will be fast enough to save that turret.
We've seen a lot of attempted steals around Baron, a lot of 50-50 Barons this week, but that was actually pretty damn clean by ROX Tigers. Linderung knew his role, instantly flashed and twisted advance when it was clear that Mickey would not be able to charm the Lee Sin. So, in general, did a lot to dissuade Umti from getting the steal away. Bit curious to me that So1 never teleported, but probably didn't get the call and got the turret at least, so it's at least something for his troubles.
Yeah, interesting decision making there from Jin Air.
I won't necessarily say it was wrong. It was one of those things where if he gets locked up and So1 comes in and is just stuck behind the pit and taunts in and does no damage and doesn't get the turret, you can see it. But one of those things where watching it in slow motion, getting a replay will get a better idea if there was any value, because Umti did make it to the pit as Baron was dying. So,
Well, now, lead stretching a bit further, 4,000 up for ROX Tigers.
Varus no longer the oppressive game extender. Does a lot of work, but isn't the instant deletion of minions that he's known for.
Yeah, can't get rid of these Baron powered minions as easily as he would like. And now ROX going to start the full court press as Mickey's up in the top lane, 3 in the mid, and Linderung down bot. See how much work can be done by this squad. Getting these inner turrets would be very nice for them. Get that standing gold.
With no jungle control, Syndra cannot walk up to top and try to clear waves.
I mean, look, Songwon's just waiting for her.
Yep, exactly as he should. Doesn't have the ward support or the champion support to make it top, so that will be a free inner turret for ROX.
Mickey just going to keep things rolling. Mid looking like they might just go ahead and stick around for a little bit. Songyun's backing off. Ran all the way back to the turret, then all the way back up. Not exactly sure why. Key, though, still takes a lot of damage from Bear, so he's got to be careful.
Don't really have any front line here for the Ashe, so Whimsy might let her get a couple of autos,
Linderung's
but no
pitching
more.
around from the back, goes forward, tries to lock down Teddy. They find Snowflower instead. Ash Arrow comes down, he gets popped. Mickey taking him out with a Foxfire. That's going to be the turret going down. One pick coming through. Snowflower did use another grass, but didn't live long enough for it to matter.
Two nice decisive calls by ROX Tigers gets them where they are, though. The Baron call was vindicated. We haven't seen a replay of that one yet, but obviously the buff is super important, and now the dive was good.
So lands onto So1. Songwon going in. Won't be able to find the kill, but they do force the Shen back. TP comes out from Linderung, zipping his way in. As they start looking for this inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. Big wave. Baron buff still on them for a little bit longer. They're going to try to chunk this one out. Songyun now arriving, having the real damage for the structures, but you have to peel back. At least just for now. Ash Arrow almost up as well as the Spirit Rush, but looks like ROX Tigers, they'll be satisfied with that. They got all the inner turrets, a lot of damage onto that bottom inhib.
About 7,000 gold to spend as well, so smart to go spend it. You look at the gold lead. Basically, the gold lead was in their purses, so smart to go spend the money. The minion wave was very, very far away, so would have been an overstay with a lot of gold and potentially a turnaround if they were engaged on, so smart not to get greedy.
I mean, we went from 2.5 to 7,000 gold right there for ROX Tigers, so really good pickup for them. Rabbidan's death cap completed for Mickey. Thought maybe he was going for the Ludens off the bat, but opts in for that first.
One of those games, though, where it was 2.5 gold, 2,500 gold for a long time, to the point where
Yeah, you're like, you know what, it's not growing, it's just stagnating.
it did feel like Jin Air were not in control, but certainly wrestling their way back into the game. The Baron buff was the decisive call that may end up being the thing that wins ROX Tigers this game. Applause is still in the crowd, but not too loud now. We are getting into the twilight hours, just after 10:35 p.m. local time. And with Jin Air games, you never want to get too excited at 28 minutes, because then you got nothing left at 58
See,
minutes.
thankfully our seats are so comfortable in the audience that even if the game does go for 60 minutes, you know, you don't have a sore rear end.
That's
by the
true.
end of it.
The plastic chairs of Yongsan are a thing of the past.
Now we just need to go the next level, get those like AMC recliner electric ones.
Malzahar actually.
Yeah, flashed in for the nether grab, doesn't find it. Mickey flashed away. Ooh, Sonic Wave almost gets Songwon. The ROX are going to have to peel back a bit here, at least the Kha'Zix is.
Yeah, you had to actually evade the zone of the redemption, so. Another shopping trip means more time for Jin, more items as well. What is going to be an inevitable fight very soon.
Oh, Mickey getting found, kicked right into the nether grasp. He's going to go down. There we go. Kill goes over to Kuzan. Nice pickup. Mickey just not playing around anybody on his team.
That's the thing, he's disconnected from his team. They had all recalled. His flash was down. We saw the respect flash onto the engage from Snowflower. Unnecessary from Mickey. Did not need to be there. A lot of advantages in their pockets. Double Cloud Drake and double Mountain Drake. With Baron respawning in a minute. But instead of having free time to set up, now they have to be that much more defensive. They will lose their mid lane turret as well because they were too greedy. And now they don't have the vision coverage to take a quick Baron when it respawns.
Yep. And it would be a very quick Baron, what with the double Mountain. There's a third one on the way, just some minutes out from having that one spawn up. Jin Air. Use that scrying plant. Trying to spot any wards that they might have missed in the river. It's just the Scuttle Crab right now providing vision for the side of the ROX Tigers.
We'd be a little bit frustrated that the next spawn isn't the Elder Dragon, given that that's a great spot for them to fight around as well.
I mean, hypothetically, they get 3 Mountain Drakes, and then the Elder spawns, they take it, they have 5 buffs, so.
45% bonus damage to turrets and minions will be a quick push and a quick end.
Be ridiculous. I don't think I've seen triple Mountain on one team in a little while.
Triple Mountain and Elder is something I don't know we've seen more than once, maybe.
Definitely rare, for sure.
This ward is being disabled, so they start it.
Baron does start up. Jin Air starting to sniff this out. Mickey trying to gatekeep, push them away. Baron's going low. Redemption thrown down. Will get taken by Songwon. Jin Air can't really afford to go for the fight. Might just have to peel back. Songyun's low, so it's not like ROX are particularly trying to get one to happen, get a fight to happen.
No, nice flank wards for someone like
Songwon.
But he's on Shen, so flank wards don't usually mean a whole lot. They had idea that the Baron was going down, but you can't hesitate. It needs to be a split-second call against double Mountain Drake, and clearly didn't have it. If there was no Mountain Drakes on the map, they would have been there in time to contest. But without adjusting for that 20%, they were 20% late, which means Baron over to ROX Tigers.
Yep. Another one for them. So now they can just continue the siege, likely opt back into pushing that bottom lane where the turret was already taken quite low. Not sure how much it's regained, but it is a very slow push upward for the regeneration on those turrets.
Rush camp attempted, snuffed out.
Not going to find anything there. Ash Arrow connects onto Umti. Can they get in range in time? Looks like the answer maybe yes. Standard comes through. He's going to dash back onto Kuzan. Get himself out the safety. TP used by Linderong will cancel it just from the top lane. Continue that push.
As well.
Yeah, they actually got quite a lot from that.
Big MVP was Kuzan, who hit the Scout of the Week.
That's 4 ultimates and a TP.
Yeah, but he got the Scout of the Week, interrupting the Ahri from coming in, so was never in charm range was Mickey. So good job there, Kuzan.
Sure, it still goes down in bottom. Wasn't much health left for that yet again, so not too surprising. Linderong trying to get that split going in top. So on's there to try to clear out the wave with that Tiamat to the best of his ability. Ash Arrow coming back up in about 10 seconds, as well as the Spirit Rush.
Mountain Drake really helping out here. Every auto attack chunking out the mid lane.
I mean, when you see the Ahri by herself taking out that turret with relative ease, you just know how much work the Mountains are doing.
You know, there's been Ahri, like Faker was running around World's Time or at All-Star. Maybe later.
The classic. Now Linderong here to back him up. Flash forward from Snowflower. He gets on top of Mickey. Takes a lot of damage to go with the Wild Growth. Not enough to keep him alive. Kuzan comes up with the kill, and now Songyun to keep getting burst. Piercing arrow from Teddy takes out the Ashe. Songwon has to leap over the wall to safety. They almost lose the turret, but they managed to hold on to it. They managed to hold on to the inhibitor, and they get 2 kills. Jin Air despite this massive lead that ROX had amassed, they still hold on
I mean,
tight.
the battle of the 2016 Africa Freaks is no more apparent than in this engage. Snowflower has had his eyes trained every flash trying to get the Ari, and it's very, very successful in this situation. The Wild Growth was just off cooldown. A lot of the other ultimates were not available. ROX Tigers are punished. Once again, it's only really pressure being relieved from Jin Air. No more than that. No easy objectives for them to pick up.
Mountain
Although
Drake.
they could get a Mountain Drake. That's something.
Be a nice takeaway, I guess. Songwon is on the backside of the pit, ready for that blast cone to go and try to get the steal. Has flash and leap available.
Is it worth it?
He's trying to time this
I would
one
say
out.
no.
Shield goes in, gonna try to get it, doesn't find it, gets stunned up. Wild Growth comes over the wall, but it doesn't matter. Unleashed Power takes him out. And you're right, it was not worth.
I mean, even if he got it, Achilles, it's a 50-second death timer for a Mountain Drake. A 4-stack Elder Drake is still going to be enough. You don't need the 5th stack, and the speed is already huge when it comes to Baron taking, so I'm really unsure. I'm one of those people where at 50 minutes, I think that giving away a free Baron is better than giving away a free life of the jungler because of respawn timings and 5v4s. At 35 minutes for a Mountain Drake, not even the Elder Dragon, I don't really see it from Songwon.
Well, fortunately for ROX, they won't get punished too heavily. Just going to be that tier 1 turret going down at top. Massive wave coming up in the bottom lane, though. That's why you can see Linderon charging down to clear that out. Does have TP available yet again to join his team at a moment's notice should it come down to it. But interesting. Mickey sold his Null Magic Mantle. Looked like he was going to be going for a QSS to try to counter the Nethergrass, but instead is opting in for the Void Staff.
Guess he feels like he needs damage. Needs to watch his positioning then. Been caught out a couple of times this game. Knows the Snowflower's flash is down for the foreseeable future, next 2 minutes or so.
Looking for a pig. Charm's not going to reach that. Won't come up with much.
And they're only playing 2 lanes, Achilles. Look at top lane. The minions are pushing in very aggressively from the side of Jin Air.
Yeah, no one's prepped that. So, ROX won't be able to stick around in mid. They have to go back and respond to those waves. They want to have them push as far into Jin Air's base as possible before that Baron comes up. 2 minutes on that clock.
Not having the minions is so consequential, because if you have that minion line pushing into the inhibitor, easy peasy to put down the wards to set up a very safe Baron take. The flank wards for Linderung to come into the back line. Having to push up the minions delays that. All this vision will be cleared out by Umti and also Snowflower when he gets around to it. Lanes will reset in bot. There's such a difference between having 2 lanes pushing in the side lanes, especially when there is in a scenario like this.
Now it's the game of how many Barons does it take for ROX to win a game?
And I think even more consequentially, how many Barons does it take to beat Jin Air, who obviously are not flying in the league? Not a good sign for ROX, given that we were talking about them playing with confidence after dispatching easily Jin Air and Kongdu earlier this week, certainly. Today, not so much.
Well, they managed to pull together for 3 games, and then lost 1. And then looked okay at the start of this one. But it's been slipping through their fingers.
It hasn't been shocking stuff. It's just that, you know, we've been blessed this week. We've seen better from multiple teams. So the mistakes become a bit more glaring. Still learning as a group of 5 of both teams why it's been a rough series at times. Yeah, Mickey's trained on finishing that Void stuff. Has accepted that we will not be having a QSS this game.
Well, hopefully he can play as cautiously as necessary to make up for that fact. Baron now spawning.
You don't believe that sentence as you say it, do you?
I said hopefully. I don't think that there's much hope for it. Now TP coming
Very
in from
deep.
Linderung. Yeah, he's coming in from below the river.
Let's wait to see when Teddy's
below the
Edge of
mid lane
Night
river.
runs out.
Coming in, Mickey's on the backside, can pinch them off. Emshin coming down, gets a bit of damage in, they go straight in on top of Kuzan. Wildgrowth coming in on Linderung, jumps forward. Mickey immediately getting hit by the Nethergrass when he gets popped. Unleashed Power yet again, taking out the Ahri, and now this is Jin Air's fight to turn around. Linderung still a very tanky Guardian Angel. The Maokai up in this front line, goes into lockup, so on. Key going down, a couple more ticks would do it, but they cannot find the kill. But without Mickey, it just seems like ROX have nothing.
And Mixie just ulted into a Malzahar for the upteenth time, and you have to play these fights so specifically around vision if you're going to make these plays, and he's making it easy for Jinair. Risky stuff.
No way.
Spotted out. They lose their bot lane turret because of where the minions were at as well. It's all kind of coming crushing down for ROX Tigers. These are sort of scrappy games where Jinair finds a way.
4,500 gold, shrunk considerably from what their lead was just a little while ago. Mickey now getting ready to respawn in 5 seconds. Jinair able to do whatever they want with the vision.
Look at that minion wave. It's just massive, but Kazak's the only person to clear it, and if he shows, or Mickey shows, Baron's going to be straightforward.
Yeah, Hawkshot does come out from Songyun, at least has that
Finally
to rely on.
feels
But
like
look
he
at
can
this.
do it.
Half of the turret goes down. Oh, dear.
But Jinair also don't start the Baron, so, you know.
Oh, none of us know what we're doing.
Where's that dog? You know, the dog with the glasses?
Yeah, this science dog.
Video games can be hard. Some teams make them look easy. Other teams, bit tricky for these teams.
I mean, you could also say that they make it look easy because we're the spectators. We have the hindsight. We have the 2020 vision on all of this. It's
They all have mini maps to see where the minions are at, Achilles.
Sure. I just mean as far as the decision making goes, we see where everyone's at. They do not. So in that regard, it makes it look a little bit easy. Mickey takes a huge chunk of damage from the piercing arrow.
Now, ROX, you've got 2 objectives. So now set up around one of them. The Elder Dragon might as well be a Baron.
I think you go for the Elder Dragon at this point.
And you have to dive, and the dive can be risky.
I mean, Amplified Mountain Drake is about as good as having his Baron-empowered minions.
Damage from Varus is getting out of control, though. Never really falls away anymore with the new lethality options.
Hooray.
Love the enthusiasm in your voice. Well, we're all at a standstill. Lindaron doesn't have teleport yet. That's Whimsy, though.
Pushing forward, gets stunned up, takes a hell of a lot of damage.
Still is Maokai.
Chain of Corruption comes through, only root him up a bit. Redemption comes out,
big
big
Scatter the Weak.
3-man stun. So on goes forward, Scatter the Weak comes out, Mickey barely staying alive. Wild Growth over onto him will keep him up for now, but he is effectively out of this fight. Only thing he can do is clear a ward. So on coming up, should go down here.
A dodge field.
All right, yeah, Dodgefield doing a hell of a lot of work. He finally dies. It takes everybody on ROX Tigers focus firing the Shen, and they're moving over towards the Baron, but I still cannot help but feel that this is a bad idea.
I think they have to do it, though, Killers. They don't seem to have any other ways. They're not proccing the minion waves at all. Mickey can't even come over to cut. Maybe he can throw a charm, but almost certainly will die.
Oh, Key going low. One more hit would do it. They're down to 3,200 HP. They're faltering right now. No one can push in. The
Varus.
poke is just too much. And ROX will peel back yet again.
Better team would not need to take the Baron there, but ROX have shown they can't play the map like they need to. They may just try it again.
Oh, yep, they're going back in, but Jinair, they haven't finished the recalls. It was only Teddy, I guess.
But Teddy's
that was
gone.
The worst member here for ROX Tigers. Sun comes through on a Lindaron. They're going to throw out a bit of damage here, but the Baron goes down. Snowflower gets caught the leap forward. They find Kuzan. Finally, ROX might have just done it, but Mickey, he gets popped as Teddy arrives yet again toward the pit. They lose 2 on the backside of that, 3 if you count So on in total. But ROX, they get the Baron. They lose Mickey. What's going to happen next?
Achilles, we just saw the most incredible thing. 2 junglers showed up at the Baron, both smited, and then Maokai took it. So that's just to let you know.
We've seen this before.
I want to see who was first. That's the person who needs to hold themselves in shame.
We had the sapling steal. I forget who pulled it off. But earlier this split, we had a sapling steal.
Amazingly, it did go over to the side of the ROX Tigers. In the replay, maybe we'll see who was the early smite. They're the one that deserves the biggest wave of the fist, let's say. Wave of the finger.
All right, well, now 4-buff Elder Dragon comes through for ROX Tigers. They have Baron on 4 members.
Don't get the Elder Drake onto Mickey, though.
That's true.
Bit unfortunate.
Would apply a lot of burn damage, what with the Spirit Fire and the Foxfire, rather, and the Spirit Rush.
Teddy's having another one of those games, Achilles.
He's in Elo hell right now.
Well, it's one of those things where if you play so well on a team that's struggling, at least when it comes to free agency time, like
You'll probably get picked up.
Hey. I mean, look at Haru. He didn't even have a good season and he worked out. So
Rescue me, please.
I like Janair, you know. They should be better. I feel like changing one player would fix them. I couldn't necessarily tell you which one.
Right now it feels like maybe MT.
Maybe. Is Raze the solution, though?
I don't know.
Well, Varus damage is still Varus damage. But they've got all of the buffs, so now it's Operation Kill People for ROX Tigers.
Something they've been okay at. 10,000 gold lead. Hip down, they'll get the mid one. Maybe just be able to stick around and try to finish this one out, but I won't hold my breath on that. Linderong going to push up, clear out this wave, get ready to take that third and final inhib.
Ultimate equalizer for not having any idea of how to play the side waves is the Baron buff. Elder helps a lot as well with 4 stacks.
And it does. ROX trying to poke in where they can.
In ways for now.
Going.
Still pretty far. Mid lane one will be soon.
Bot's coming up a little ways away.
Nice if they could have brought in the bot lane, but wasn't to be this time. Will take a while for the super minions to crash. They've got probably another 25 seconds before things get desperate. Winning a 5v5 is not going to win the game for Janair, but 2 might.
Definitely be a step in the right direction.
Here's Mickey helping the minion power.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Yeah, minions moving in to mid lane now. He can't go all the way down to bot, just has to let that push naturally. Needs to be there to respond if Janair pull the trigger on a fight here in the top lane. It's coming down over the wall, trying to spot them out. They lock up Soan in the front. Dodge field will keep him healthy. Away from all that true damage burn, at least for now. Mickey going in, has that Spirit Rush on the sideline. Soan, the target, will go down. Ash Arrow flying through. Snowflower gets caught. And this should be the end here for Janair. Yep, that's going to be Malzahar falling. Third inhibitor dies. Mickey, Linderong, and Key are all pretty low. But the Super Creeps crashing into the base should be enough. Lock up onto the Maokai. Unleash power comes through. GA gets popped, but it does not matter. Nexus hurts are gone. Nexus still goes down. And ROX Tigers will finish off Janair. 46.5 minutes on the clock there. Bit of a rough one, but they still net themselves a win.
Yeah, by the end, definitely felt like 8th versus 9th place. Pretty sloppy stuff, but ROX Tigers maybe didn't play the map like they needed to, but did get the victory. Picking up all the Dragon stacks, or the Drake stacks in the early game, really buffed up the Elder Dragon take. And in the end, they pick up the series victory, which was the minimum, honestly, for them. They realistically wanted to do it 2-0. They wanted to pick up playstyles that would help them in the future.
He's so happy that he's strangling him.
Definitely going to be some emotions for these teams. They are playing against former team members, specifically Snowflower on the side of Janair. Janair, 1-9 now. They've had a few close series like this, but not been able to get over the line. Players look a little bit more used to the losing, which, it kind of goes 2 ways. We saw the young players be bowled over in matches that they were realistically always going to lose earlier in the season. Now, sadly, we get to that worrying start where players start to learn to lose, which is always an unfortunate thing for players very much at the start of their careers. Another good game from Teddy, 4-0-4, maybe more. By the end, no deaths for him, but points go to Janair. Points do not go to Janair Green Wings this time. They go to ROX Tigers, who do move to 4 match wins overall.
Yep. Rough stuff here for Janair. Now going to have that match score line 1-9. Very rough way to start up round 2. Their next game will be against Longzhu on Thursday.
From memory, they lost to Kongdu, so does that make them 10th? Might do.
I think it does.
No, they were only -1. So.
Oh yeah, they went -1. If they had lost 0-2, then they would have been in 10th place. But still, they're damn close.
Yeah, 1 game score ahead with a match further played is it's not a great spot.
I mean, ironically, they're going to be cheering for the ROX Tigers in the next game because it is against Kongdu, so they want them to win that, so they're that much further away from that 10th place spot. Either way, though, there is a pretty clear disconnect between these bottom 2 teams of Janair, Kongdu, and then ROX Tigers, Afrika. who are currently in that 8th and 7th place spot.
And then when it comes to, team strength, it feels like there's a pretty clear disconnect between SKT and KT. Then the middle pack, which if ROX had won 2-0, they could have put their hand up and said, we're in there. But I think after that performance, you have to feel like once again, they're maybe a part of the bottom 3, which means we have 5 teams vying for 2 spots, or 3 spots actually, in the gauntlet, which will be really exciting watching.
I mean, upper echelons, the bracket, are very competitive. I actually misspoke. BBQ is now underneath Afrika since they lost that 0-2. So they are the 7th place team, but still, we've seen what both of those teams can do, Afrika and BBQ. They offer a lot. Speaking of offering a lot, it's a lot of damage from the side of Jinair. Teddy and Kuzan just pumping it out with the Varus and Cinder combination, but still not enough to come up with the win.
The fast win rate taking a beating in this series, as your MVP will be Linderong. Did Maokai things, I guess is the best you could say about him.
Deathless on the Maokai, 1-0 and 10. I mean, really good gatekeeping to stop Umti from going into the pit, multiple times. So good target selection from him as well. So overall, it was a strong performance from Linderong. ROX Tigers on the whole, it's a bit of a weak one. They still come out with a
good
win.
early game.
Yeah.
Really good early game. The moments we're seeing here are when we're like, okay, ROX Tigers, going to win 2-1, feeling good about them. Meandered and then some in the mid game. Acquired Baron buff. Decisive Baron call, you could say, to close out the game.
Yep. It just seemed like every time Linderong was coming in, they usually net something for them for themselves.
You're going to see this replay finally.
No, this is him gating out Umti.
Umti made it in, but just a half-second too late. It was cool to see. That was a replay we didn't get during the game.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get the one of him confirming the Baron take eventually as we continue through this
look, honestly, both Barons are very important. That one, seeing how close Umti was getting to the pit was interesting. We didn't see that during the game. We'll see the replay of the double smite. We can find out who it was, Achilleos. Who was the first smiter? Because they're the ones that should hold their heads in shame. Maybe they just won't show. They're like, nope, let's make a video about it later.
I guess we won't find out. Maybe we'll see it in the MVP interview when they talk to Linderong about confirming the Baron take.
Maybe we will. Well, this was the game closing out. Congratulations to Linderong. Congratulations to the ROX Tigers. It wasn't pretty, but still a match win for them.
Yep. And that's going to be the first MVP nomination there for Linderong, so good pickup from him. Now we're going to hear from the man himself, as well as Song Yoon on the win. So Joel, take it away with the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. We are here with ROX Tigers, who pick up a 2-1 victory over Jinair Green Wings. And we are here with today's MVPs, Linderong and Sang Yoon, for the interview. Sang Yoon, Linderong, congratulations on the win. Sang Yoon, how do you feel about the win?
두 번 경기가 솔직히 약간 저희 이제 전 멤버들도 있잖아요.
And this matchup against Jinair is very significant for us because, including the last game we faced up against them, we have our former teammates in there and we really wanted this victory personally. Many people are very much in favor of your performance recently, Linderong. Yeah, I think the experiences at IEM were extremely helpful, and the coaches and the entire staff gives very positive feedbacks, with many of my plays, and that really helps me to improve. We felt like Banpick phase was really in favor of you guys, getting to the phase that you guys really wanted to. But how did it go?
좀 많이 당황했어요.
바루스 연 거.
그러니까 바루스 여는 건 괜찮았는데.
We thought we were actually pretty surprised with how the Banpick phase ended. Not only with us, with them opening up Varus for us,
안 괜찮네가 나오는데.
but we felt like some of the things that the oppositions that did for us today, it was very unexpected.
약간 좀 뭔가 하다 보니까 좀 잘못되는 느낌?
But we were just trying to do it one step at a time. But in the end, we saw the final picture and it wasn't that great for us. So we were very startled.
애쉬르 플레이와 상윤 선수의 좋은 플레이가 있었기 때문인 것 같은데 모음집이 있다고 합니다. 같이 보면서 좀 얘기를 나눠보죠. 신궁이었어요.
So let's look at a video highlight.
상윤 선수가 원래 질에 대한 이미지가 있는데
We have a big legend of Sang Yoon on the Jin, but on the Ashe is very much a first for us.
오른쪽을 보니까 진승률이 75%고.
Yes, one day I woke up to see a 75% win rate for my Jin, and you know, I felt like, you know, Jin was my champion to go, but
뽑아본 것 같아요.
you know, Ash was always been my pocket pick, and you know, picking it out today was a good choice for us.
제가 전 팀에 있을 때는 많이 했는데 여기 오고 나서
You know,
코치님은 잘 안 시켜주시는 거예요.
Choosing when I was in my former team, I got to practice Varus a lot, but the current coaching staff didn't allow me to practice Varus as much, and that's kind of my excuse for not having picked it today.
네, 그래도 항상 쓸 수 있는 카드였어요.
But I think it's always a viable pick for us, regardless.
그래서 요즘 락스 타이거즈가 약간 컨셉을 좀 확실히 잡은 것 같아요. 어설픈 운영보다는 어떻게 보면 그냥
And ROX Tigers, you know, you guys really have an image of your team. It's not really about, you know, managing the flow of the game, but it's really about coming up with the strong team fights with you guys. Yeah, I think we really do like getting into team fights and skirmishes, and as soon as we see an angle, our members will start to go in aggressively. And you know, we always know that when we're ready to fight, that we will go in right away all together.
분명히 뭐 스스로 잘 아시겠지만 과다라는 생각이 들 때가 있거든요. 마지막 경기도 접전이었어요.
And you know, ROX Tigers never really has a clean win, and hasn't been for a recent couple of days. But you know, how do you rate your team's performance in that?
상대가 클리어가 라인을 클리어가 너무 좋아가지고 저희가
Yeah, it was tough for us because the opposition had such strong wave clear, and we were trying to just catch up to that most of the game, and you know, because of that, we really had to go back and forth and try to take advantage of most of our chances that were given to us, which weren't very much. But you know, we're trying to pick out each best team fights that we can have, and that's kind of what we were hoping for.
좀 재밌는 팀인 게 상윤 선수를 별로 봐주지 않는 팀으로 유명하잖아요. 예전부터 그랬고.
And Sangyun, you're a very interesting player that, you know, other teams don't really count you very accountable for many of the things that you do. Aren't you very sad about that?
자꾸 버려요. 아니.
I think, you know,
회종
I feel like, you know, as an ADC, people should come and kill me, but like they just kind of leave me alone, which is kind of sad in one point. And
상기 선수가 약간 도망가는 거에 약간
여기서 버림받는. 이거 이길 수
this is where I feel like, you know, all my teammates just kind of leave me alone and just let me be. And you know, as an ADC, I feel like I really deserve all that protection, but my teammates just totally just letting me be and just letting me die like that. Pretty sad stuff.
탕 전투 같은 느낌으로 플레이가 나오는 것 같습니다. 그게 또 락스 타이거즈의 매력이기도 한 것 같고요. 그리고 또 린다랑 선수 요즘 탱커도 잘 다루고 IM 경험을 토대로 계속
And Linderang, you've been showing a variety of performances with the tank position and also with the DPS positions on the top lane. But how do you rate your champion pool right now?
챔프이긴 한데 그만큼 잘 쓰면은 더
You know, with something like a Camille, though, it's very difficult champion, and you have to play it well for it to work. And also, your teammates have to really contribute to making that stronger.
인터뷰를 잘했어.
I mean, why, he was asking why he was laughing, but he was just laughing because he's played so well.
팀적 콜이었는지 수훈이나 조냐를 안 가다가 나중에 이제
Seems like you weren't really worried about the CC in the early game, not even going for the Quicksilver Sash or anything that can take off the CC, but you went with it in the late game.
저번에 악몽이 떠오를 것 같아서 간 것 같아요.
You know, I have a bad memory with QSS, and I try to not go with it as much as possible, but I had to go with it late game.
경기 영상 보면서 얘기를 나눠보죠.
And we have another look at another video highlight.
아 이거 진짜 마지막에 이때 불안하지 않으셨나요?
Weren't you nervous about that when you got hit by that Cinder skill?
저 이거 빼면 싸워야 돼, 빼면 싸워야 하는데
We were just telling each other to keep fighting, but
이거 괜찮아, 괜찮아.
호랑이처럼 날뛰었나요?
호랑이처럼 그냥.
well, you know, we weren't really worried about anything. We were just trying to worry about diving in and being as aggressive as we can. We weren't thinking of backing out.
터져라 외쳤나요? 린다랑 선수는 특별히 하실 말씀 있어요?
Linder, do you have anything to add to that?
제가 좀 맞아보니까 안 죽는 것 같아요.
You know, just getting hit, I feel like I wasn't dying and wasn't getting, my HP wasn't falling, so you know, it really just drove me to fight that much more aggressively.
자 그러면 마지막으로 이제 2라운드도 접어들었잖아요. 상윤 선수 응원해
Now you guys are entering the round 2 of this of the spring season. Would you like to say something to your fans? We always thank you for your support, and we feel like, you know, our earlier part of the season wasn't that great, but we're really picking it up. And one more thing,
회종이가 사실 뭐 1등 찍고 뭐
you know, Snowflower has been doing the trash talk of, you know, him reaching first place, and he's been trash talking to me, but I'd like to say something about that,
갈 사람은
you
밑으로
know.
가야지 않겠습니까?
But, you know, we've proved today that he's no longer in that number one position, so I want to get that across.
이런 얘기도 나오고 있는 것 같습니다.
Ooh.
오늘 승리한 락스
trash talk right there.
진심으로 축하드리고 2라운드 내내 이런 멋진
So that seems to be the end of the interview. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Wouldn't be Sung-yoon and Snowflower without some trash talk.
Yeah, they gotta just keep throwing that shade at each other, very much like Mickey and Faker before. But now, ROX Tigers, they put another win on the board, albeit a surprisingly hard-fought one against Jin Air, who will just maintain their position at the bottom of the standings alongside Kongdu Monster.
Start to get worried at these points about Jin Air potentially not being in Champions. We already live in the post-CJ Entus world that may become the re-entry
Yeah.
to Champions of CJ World, given how well they've been doing. But as you
Shame for
say,
that.
ROX Tigers are week 4 and 6, I would say. BBQ Olivers, kind of surprising to see them this low, given they were 4th, 3rd at earlier parts of the season. And where are the Afrika Freaks at? Because if they lose 2-0, there's a lot of parity at the bottom.
Yeah, could be a really interesting rest of the spring split here. Lots of potential for shakeups. And we've already seen so many teams, you know, just beating each other. Just seem like SKT and KT are the ones that are relatively untouchable. Coming up tomorrow, though, it is the return of the Telecom War Part 2. SKT versus KT will take to the Rift. This is over at the Gangnam Studio, guys, so Papa Smithy and I will not be bringing you the action, but I'm sure we'll be joining in with the viewership on Twitch chat. And then Afrika Freaks versus Kongdu, the second set tomorrow. So you have that to look forward to. Kongdu, you never know. Maybe they can pull out some weird win against Afrika, who just
And
happens
Afrika
to
Freaks,
lose against the weird
and that's the thing.
teams.
Afrika Freaks, you never know if they could lose to anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
It should be a win.
beat SK Telecom, lose to some random people. I don't really know. You never know what's going to happen with those guys. Kongdu, though, hopefully for their sake, they can put a win on the board, really solidify themselves in 9th place, over top of Jin Air now. But we have to see tomorrow. I'm still just excited for that Telecom War Part 2. We'll see who comes out on top.
I mean, solidifying their spot will be really interesting because, you know, if KT win 2-0, they start to push up compared to SKT. If it's a close series, it's going to be... if you expect it to be close, I hope it goes 3 games again. Will we see SKT separate themselves or KT bring themselves back? Be fun to find out.
Yep, and we'll have to find out. So that's tomorrow night, so make sure you guys set your alarms for that one. Check it out. For now, we'll see you guys next week, so have a good one.